Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. I'm your host, Sharla Brown, and on today's show we are speaking with the United Way of Thunder Bay. My guest today is Michael Nitz, who's the 2014 chair. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks, Sharla. Glad to be here.
So it's an exciting year for the United Way. It's the 50th anniversary, and you are going to be the chair for this coming year, or this year's campaign. Tell me a little bit more about the year, and if it's a little bit different than any other year, being that it's the 50th anniversary.
So 50 years is quite a milestone accomplishment for the United Way of Thunder Bay. So for 50 years, we've been providing support to community organizations and agencies in delivering programs that are of priority to the community. So now we're up to 29 agencies and 63 programs that we fund each and every day that are going on. And 2014, we're raising lots of profile about agencies. So myself, since the winter, every week have been visiting a different agency and plan to visit all 29 by September. And really it's about connecting the agencies with the donors, because a lot of donors out there don't really understand what the real impact of United Way is. They know it's a great brand, it does great things, but they don't really understand granularly what the United Way does. So we're trying to create more of a bond there between the agencies and the donors.
Right. So tell us a little bit about some of the agencies that's involved that people might not know is one of the 29 agencies that United Way supports.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about United Way is it covers an entire lifespan. So whether it's Our Kids Count, providing support for expectant mothers, so we're helping people before they're even born into this world, right through till Hospice Northwest, who provides support and care for people later on in life. There's a whole bunch of support and programs that happen in between that time period. So when so Our Kids Count is a great example. Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club provides great mentoring. Canadian Mental Health, CNIB. I mean, the list goes on and on about all these agencies that really are making great progress in our community and supporting a ton of people. And at our meeting recently, we added up all the people who are impacted by those 63 programs. And it's in excess of 100,000 people in our community are getting support. Wow. Some people access more than one program or agency, but over 100,000 people in a community the size of Thunder Bay is pretty phenomenal, the amount of work we do. And yeah, like I said, the inspirational part is we help the entire life stage from kids before they're born right until seniors. So.
Right. So what is the mission of the United Way in Thunder Bay in terms of, what it's doing to be able to, pull all those agencies together? Is it kind of to create a one-stop shopping for people to be able to donate? As
a banker, I always use the mutual fund example. So United Way is almost a mutual fund helping all these other agencies, right? So you imagine these 29 agencies, if there was no United Way, they'd all need 29 separate people to make 29 different asks. Our residents would get 29 different messages from these agencies. So the beauty of United Way is it's that one kind of channeled resource that can provide funding and awareness to a donor, and the donor know that they're helping 29 different groups as opposed to just one. And the United Way does a really intense project as far as when the dollars come in, how it's allocated to best support the community. So again, knowing someone is giving to United Way, they know they're helping 63 programs, which is quite incredible to happen.
Exactly. And I know I saw on the website, I think it had said 1 in 3 people about is touched by the agencies in Thunder Bay, but it's probably even higher than that.
Yeah, the 1 in 3 is, it avoids that overlap of, whether they get help from different programs, but 1 in 3 people, so 1, 2, and the producer here, one of us has received benefit from one of the funded agencies or programs. So it really is impressive, the impact and the scope that we have. And it may not be now, it may be down the line where someone needs support, but typically throughout the lifetime someone would need support from one of the 29 agencies. So I would encourage folks to check out our website, and they can find out about those 29, and I'm sure they'll have a couple that are really close to their heart, and they'll feel good about all of the support that they're giving here to Thunder Bay.
And really, people can donate to a specific charity if they chose to. So you could donate to the United Way as a whole, and then you allocate the funds, or say through payroll deductions, people could actually choose the charity, correct?
Yeah, so there's the donor designated fund or donor designated donations, and they can choose the end charity where it goes, and it can go through United Way. But there's the community fund, which we try to promote a lot amongst our group, and that's the 29 agencies. So if you give to the community fund, you know your money's getting divided up 29 different ways to those agencies. So really, we give the donor the choice whether they want to support the community fund or other charities in our community, and put the money through United Way.
Right, and also some of those agencies are essential agencies that people need, but maybe have a harder time to do fundraising, whether they don't have the resources or the staff or things like that. So they exist because probably the United Way is able to help them out every year.
Yeah, they would not have the resources to pay someone to go out and raise money, and then the United Way provides profile as well. So if they're doing an event, we'll help promote it. We'll help work with them to make sure it's a successful event for them, for the United Way, and most importantly for the residents of Thunder Bay. And when we think of the 29 agencies, they roll up to kids, so supporting kids and making them be all they can be. There's poverty agencies that support programs that are directly related to people living under the poverty line, and then healthy communities. So things like the Hearing Society or Canadian Mental Health, things that are really making our community a better place.
Absolutely. Now, how are the 29 agencies chosen? Is there an application process? Could it go to 30 or 31 agencies, or is 29 it? Like, how does all that work?
United Way, we're always trying to change and adapt to our adapting community and where the needs are. So we have an allocations team that has a couple dozen people that work really hard to make sure every single dollar is allocated where it is most needed at this point in time. So any agency or any charity out there can apply to the United Way, and I would encourage them to go onto the United Way website or call the United Way. They can get an application form to become a funded agency, and then there's that whole period where the allocations team will decide which projects they want to fund based on the needs of our growing community.
Right, and I guess there'd be a process of whether it's the board or somebody reviews the application to see if they meet the qualifications to be a charity that's funded under the United.
Yeah, the Allocations Committee, they have a number of different teams that look at different aspects, and they would go through and they decide, okay, does this program match with what the community need is and what the United Way wants to do, and then when they have their annual budget based on what we generate each year as far as fundraising dollars, they would divide out which programs we can support. But like I said, any charity out there can apply on the United Way website to be a funded agency, and we'd love to consider all applications.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break here, but I'd like to come back and we'll talk about some exciting events that's happened that the United Way has done so far this year, and some exciting things to come. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more of In Your Neighborhood.